Good evening everyone, welcome back to another video with me Andy. I hope you're all doing well and let's get on with the tying video. So the hook we've got in the vise here, this is a Troutline ST320. This is number 10, so it's slightly bigger, and we've got a 4mm again Troutline slotted bead. Hook, well the thread we're going to use, I'm actually going to change halfway through. This is just some Textreme 6/0 in black, and we're going to start this just behind the bead. Just skewer it in there with a little like conical shape. Then we're going to take our thread towards the back. Going to go right the way back just before the bend, and then trim off our excess. Now this is actually obviously going to be a Caddis fly. So what we're going to use for our peeper is actually this, very difficult because it's so bright, but this is fluorescent yellow wool. You don't need more, I'm just going to trim a little piece off. So I've just trimmed a little piece off there. Now what you need to do is you need to get a lighter. Now I'll try and so you can see this. Come in and just burn the end until you get your peeper. Such a little Caddis peeper. You can touch it after a few seconds, it isn't going to burn you. And then we can place that on the back. You don't want the peeper too long, it's up to you actually, you can have it long, you can have it short. It's totally up to you, and just tie that in. So there's your little peeper. Now come in, grab your scissors, put your scissors behind the bead, and then trim off the excess. And that excess now should be the perfect length of your hook shank. Got a little bit left there, that'll do me another fly, so I'll keep that to one side. I don't like to waste materials, and they cost money at the end of the day. So next step, I need some partridge, and I do have a partridge feather here because I've been tying a few of these, so I've tied a couple more in there. So I've saved myself some partridge feather. So this is actually, I've already used part of this, I've used the front section. This is just basically some brown partridge. This is again by Troutline. I don't know, my bag's gone. I had my bag in front of me and my brown partridge. I can't remember where I've put it. Oh, there it is. So I use this. So this is selected brown partridge. So as you can see, the partridge feathers in there. Now all we're going to do, got this V section here, is just place this V section over the back. Make sure you get your length, so I've got to pull that back because it is way too long. That should do us. Now what I do is like a loose turn over the top and round, and then I'll cinch it in. And that'll just basically turn those partridge feathers around the hook, because it doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be, you know, I like them there, but they don't have to be perfectly centered. And do exactly the same, put your scissors behind the bead, up to the bead, and then come in and trim. Now what we need to do now is just take our thread, just do some loose wraps over the top of our excess pieces, and then secure them down. Now we're going to come in with our whip finish tool here and just trim it off. Boom. And now we're going to use our next material. This is Viva's body quill, and it's brown. Now we're going to start the head just the same as you would with normal thread. Just trim off your excess. And just wind this body quill down the body. Now you're going to want to do a few layers of this. And I'm just going to, oopsie daisy, I must have pulled too hard. Yeah, if you pull too hard on it, unfortunately you snap it. That's me pulling too hard, but don't worry, we'll fix it. You need to rethread my bobbin. I'm pleased stuff like this happens in my tying videos, because you guys get to see, a lot of people always ask me, oh, does this not happen to you? And yeah, of course everything happens to me, the same as you guys. You snap your thread or you snap a material, all you need to do is grab your excess, grab your new, and then tie it back over the top. You need to trim off the bit where it snapped and also your excess bit where you're tying it in. Easy. Well, not easy, but yeah, it is easy. But then just go down halfway. Again, I'm going to pull slightly less on my bobbin this time. And then when I get to the bead this time, because I don't want this to be a really thick fly, come in with your whip finish tool. That should be your conical shape of your fly as well. Now trim off your excess. Now what I like to do with mine is grab a black pro marker. I just like to dab a few little like black dots on there, just as if it's like stones or gravel or whatever, or sticks. And then come in with my varnish. I'm using the Gulf Thinman. Actually using the brush applicator here. Just trying to make sure I've covered all of it. Just taking a little bit of the resin off the brush there, just so there wasn't too much. Now, I'm just checking to make sure there's no big blobs anywhere, so it's not like clumpy. Come in with the UV torch. Look how much that paper glows at the end there. That's what really attracts attention to those fish, you know, that really bright peeping. You know, it's like a trigger point for them, and it's food, and they'll come and grab it. And just really set that resin there. As always, to finish off the fly fully, I grab a little bit of varnish. Just run that varnish round, just so it sinks into any holes I've missed or anything, and that way our fly gets some good longevity. Now this caddis is now going to sink like a stone. Great if you want to get down quickly. It's almost like a perdigon kind of caddis, really, without the exact perdigon style, but it's a great little caddis. Give this one a go. You're going to definitely catch some fish, or it's going to help you get down to the depths where you need to get it quickly. So yeah, thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one.